protected because there's more people. You get what I mean? So it
I
looks
feel
at it
you.
both ways. Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, I just hit live. We're live streaming now. Yo, check it out. It's DJL7. I have my guest once again on the channel, Salamander Brandy, from co-chair of the Memphis DSA, and also in the last one, the trans flag was up, and
Oh yes.
definitely proud trans activist right here. So definitely respect your work right here. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you. So I don't have my flag up. Kind of help my partner move. Actually, I've been helping a lot of people move. So there's a lot of people in constant shift right now. So yeah.
Yo, my friend might be getting out of the homeless shelter into a SRO. It's called single residence occupancy home.
Mhm.
So I might be helping a friend move real soon. So that's something that a lot of poor people go through. We get moved around a lot. You know what I mean? By the forces that decide they want to control our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
go ahead.
well, shit. Yeah. Pretty much it's basically fast warfare. You have landlords starting shell companies just to push people out of their homes. So yeah. Mostly the same group of the same group of characters always vying for control, pushing people out of home, using power and masculinity and all that stuff like that. Patriarchal forces. People with guns to put people out their home. So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
Quick question. You on my mailing list?
I think so.
Okay.
Email.
Yeah, there's an email mailing list. Actually, when you had I remember that you were talking about a general strike before the election. That was something that I was actually trying to work on. I actually contacted someone in North Carolina who I was working on that. Also, bringing some housing people to, justice. I know you were looking for some legal, things, right? I was happy to help you with that. But now I have my own time of need over here. Things are about to
Mhm.
pop off here in New York City, and if we take a look at their wait, let me get a little bit closer here. Turn up my mic. The thing is that if we take a look at what's going on with there's something called Drag Queens Story Hour that's been happening across the country, and the fact of the matter is that we can see that in Colorado there was a shooting, people died, and there seems to be I swear I feel like it's coordinated, like the
Oh yeah,
right.
most likely. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like the whole Trump presidency, the whole conservative movement over the past few decades have been like strategically planned out. You can see that with groups like with Moms for Liberty, stuff like that. So yeah, I would most definitely believe that it is because like we had story time here in Memphis as well, and we almost had an active shooter with a bunch of Proud Boys showing up. People pretty much forced all the drag queens out of the mosh, formerly known as the Pink Palace Museum.
I have to tell
Uh,
you that honestly, I was gone. I was out of the country for most of the time when Trump was president. So a lot of stuff went down
mhm,
that I really wasn't aware of. So the Proud Boys, stuff like that, I haven't really maybe I have. I don't really know if I've interacted with them or not, right? Now all of a sudden I'm starting to get these emails saying that these people that I've seen at some of the events may be affiliated with this thing or that thing. Not sure
mhm.
what to believe.
Oh
But
yeah.
the thing is that with the raising violence that we've seen around the country, and I don't know if you heard about the bricks being thrown through the windows here in the,
Mhm.
I know that did make national news. There's
I,
a,
I believe I heard a lot. Like literally, we try to keep track of these things because, like
okay,
I said, it happens to us as well. Like these attacks are just happen more and more frequently. Because like there's a certain narrative being pushed. Like
yeah.
it's a certain narrative. You
And
know.
one thing that I feel that I really, one reason why I really take the trans, fight, uh, you know, even though I'm not trans myself, but I feel very in league with them, because the thing is that when the black community gets, riled up, right? Then the media says, "Oh, look at those bad Asians," right? And when we look at like now the elites screwed up, right? We have a new level of poverty, right? And now all of a sudden it says, "Look at these bad trans people." All of a
Mhm.
sudden out the blue, right? Like actually apparently the drag queen story hour has been going on in New York City since 2017, right? But all of a sudden, right, like across the country, we see this outcry against trans people. Damn, like it's a small group. They're just trying to
Yeah.
outload the frustrations and use y'all as a punching bag.
Yeah.
Yo, I know what it's like. They do it to
Oh yeah.
Asian Americans too. So, and I've been homeless and I've seen how, the trans people have it tougher than other homeless people. And I was like, yo, I felt for the suffering that they was going through. I was like, yo, I'm going through this hard time. They got it harder. I was like, yo, like, I'm gonna look out for these people 100%. You get what I mean?
I feel it's not Oppression Olympics, anything like that, but like we are targeted the most on the streets because like it just seems like we're just like picked out or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
really weird because like when we talk about these two groups of people, you know, these two categories, not even categories, two groups of people, the trans, LGBTQ plus, and also you have the Proud Boys. You make it seem like you know we're very niche or whatever. And it's like you make they try to make it seem like the fascist alt writers, whatever, are a very small group. Like this is a new thing, but no, this has been a building movement since for almost forever in this country. And like Proud Boys are only one organization. As you got them, you got the Oath Keepers, you have the Christian alt right conservatives, you have the evangelicals, you have the pagans, the pagan white supremacists, you haven't even these people always broken down to people who want to start a nuclear holocaust, like they're the atomic boys or whatever. And you know, then you have the people in the LGBTQ plus, like they make it seem like we're also niche and like something that's new and something like we're the real threat. Like all of a sudden we're the cause of the dismantle of society, but in reality we've been here since before things like you know democracy, fascism, all these things were even concepts. Like people just lived. Like we was here before these things, and it's like wild as hell. It's like why try to constantly mark out a section of your society that's always been here and that's always been maintain a stability in that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, actually, a little bit I know what you're saying, but also I feel like there's actually a gap in understanding that I'm actually glad to talk with you and to learn more about, because the fact of the matter is that here in the United States, right, a lot of people understand like the arguments that are made about racism against black people. But when it comes to racism against Asian Americans, they really don't know it, right? And a lot of
Yeah,
people
it's
may
false.
be, yeah, maybe more, right, we have those turfs and stuff, right? People may be sympathetic to, right, the lesbians that are sexually titillating on TV. But then, right, when it comes to trans issues, we could see that, there may be a different, right, level of support that is offered to. So people may be very all into like not, I'm not trying to pit these groups against each other, right, but they may be very knowledgeable about gay issues but not so knowledgeable about trans issues. I'm not personally trans or gay. I don't really know the issues as well, and that's why I'm glad to talk with you and to learn more and build an understanding and move forward. So thank you so much for coming on. I know we had that panel discussion earlier and no trans or LGBTQ people were able to attend. But, before tomorrow's event, I definitely would like to get your perspective on, how we can really, I would like to see the violence stop, and have a way to sit down. So one of the things that you talked about in some of the discussion that we've had over, Facebook chat and stuff is you said that a lot of these groups cannot be trusted. And I get that, trust has to be earned.
Mm-hmm.
But, as in terms of tomorrow's event, right, I think that there are some compelling, you know, points made by the critics, right? I'm not saying that they're all good, right? Some of them are obviously, disturbing. But for example, people might say that some of the books that might be selected are problematic. But the Drag Queen Story Hour in New York City, they've already posted what books that they read at the events. And the books that I've seen that made me pause, they're not on that list. So maybe they've already addressed that situation. Um, so right there's a couple different avenues of attack that I see from people that are against Drag Queen Story Hour. Right? Personally, I think it's okay, but I think that there's issues with it too. So I'll tell you. Let me get to that first. I think we did mention in the podcast, but one of the issues that I have is that really, I think the ideal situation is if you're a trans person, you could participate in a normal story hour like anybody else, right? I want to read the story to the kids, right? They,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you should be able to be part of that normal experience, right? Versus, right? The trans people are forced to be ghettoized into one particular event, right? Yeah. And that is unfortunately carrying a lot of their hopes and dreams, which I understand, right? Because this is their one chance to be included, whereas so many times they are excluded. But what happens if I took, right, if I said, we're gonna at this restaurant here, right, we're only gonna have white employees, but on one night of the month, we're gonna have a bunch of black people come in, and we're gonna make it all about the black people, and we're gonna do all the stereotypical black stuff. But on the normal day, we're not gonna really include them in our stuff. I don't really see it as completely winning. There is some fight I think between the good and the perfect in this group.
Mhm.
So when we talk about like the drag queen story hour itself, um, how do you feel about like that dichotomy between like inclusion versus right having your own thing? Also being Asian American, I really think black people are so smart to have their own colleges, historically black colleges. I think Asian Americans should do the same thing. We cannot rely on those groups to include us. We have to form our own thing. So with the non-trust of right maybe these groups that are Proud Boys or whatever that are hurting y'all, right? What role does society itself play as in terms of including y'all versus the Proud Boys?
Well, for one, the Proud Boys was like centered around ideology. Like we're a fact of life. That's one thing. Two, like the fact that a restaurant would even think about just only doing white people things or white restaurants or whatever is that's fucked in its own. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
just a fucked idea. People who have a history of being marginalized. I think everybody needs that like recognition. That's how pride was born, because like we were made to feel ashamed of who we are, and like reality, like we help maintain this society. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Uh, but male Western chauvinism does not. Like I said, they're just organizations that try to have one of those organizations that try to have inclusions by having uh, black officers or whatever you want to call them, whatever. But that's an old story. Like the last hired, first fired. Once you get rid of all the trans people, who's next? The people who are suspected as trans, like I said, white male chauvinism or white supremacy or patriarchy is one. Patriarchy is a very destructive force in our society, and like they just don't need to belong here. They're based on illusions
yeah,
of
yeah.
ideas of supremacy. So like legit, they yeah, and I talked to a lot of libertarians and people who might have been on that side or might have gone down that road. In reality, you can't isolate these people either. I'm not saying like put them in camps. No, that's fucked. But like, no, you gotta recognize what it is, and that's just another step towards fascism. And like, yeah, I can argue with them all day about it, and and sometimes you can talk people down from it. But yeah, when it comes to that, you're gonna have to like arm yourself and defend yourself from that. Because, like you said, there's just somebody who just want power and using politics just to get it any means necessary, man. That's fascist. So, but like when it
I
comes to
am.
drag
Yeah,
queens, when it comes to drag queens and trans women, like we exist, we here, even though we're for even before when we were able to come out as frequently as we do now, we still existed. Like we were forced into predicaments and situations that did not match the spirit, did not match the inner self or the inner mind or whatever. And I can get into all sorts of metaphysical about it, but like yes, drag queens reading whatever, not whatever. It's like legit. One of the head drag queens here in Memphis, Moth. She says herself, like, there's a spectrum of drag. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
you always, they're posting what they're gonna read. There shouldn't be no surprises. And there's not gonna be any thing or any inappropriateness, like because you already know what to expect when he said, "Hey, this is child story time reading hour." Somebody going above or under that's fucked. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Another thing
Yeah.
that they'll
So,
do a lot is
but
they'll
like that's
go ahead.
another part of rhetoric that they use like for inappropriate books. And shit, that's the rhetoric they use to ban the mouse. Here in Tennessee, like talking about Nazi Germany using the metaphor of cats and mice and shit. It's like they had one sex scene between two mice. I'm like, they use sex to make things certain topics like it's use it for be disingenuous on how to have an actual discussion on what the actual context and content of what's being read and taught. Like that's what it is. Like it just serves white supremacy and white supremacy fascism. You know what I'm
A
saying?
lot of
And
times they like, yeah.
you don't have to be white to be a white supremacist. That's just the truth.
that spectrum that you was talking about, right? That's real because the fact of the matter is that a lot of times they will use us against each other. For example, right, they'll have like some minority person, they have no Asian Americans in the whole history of the organization, right, ever, as a racial right justice group, but they'll say, look, we have a non-white person here, so everything's cool. They'll take a trans person who's passing, right, who is a conventionally attractive, and they'll be like, this is the one we want. But if you don't look right, if you don't match that probably white looking, you know what I mean, passing,
You're
whatever
good.
stuff like that, they don't want you there. And it's not, this is not really justice. This is not fairness. This is not access. This is just
You're all
bullshit.
right. If it's all white, if it's all white, it's all right. You're good if you can pass. Oh, you're a darkie, but you got real. You're polite. You're good. Like it's the same shit. It's like literally, it just ways of passing. Like once you get rid of, like there is no end game to white supremacy. Once you get rid of the people who pass or and those who did your bidding, get rid of the people who don't pass. You get rid of the people who do your bidding, and once you get rid of them, get rid of the people that pass, and then next thing you know, you go looking. You go looking.
Yeah.
Who's amongst the unclean? Next thing you know, you got the Irish. Then you got the Italians. Then you got who's left? South African albinos. That's it. Like who is what is whiteness? It's illusions. Like literally, if we were all blind today, all this shit would not matter. It'll be all just feelings. You know
I'm
what I'm
with you on the
saying?
100% because, like trans people, right? Probably trans people get it worse, but honestly, I'm one of the first to be kicked out, expendable. You know, I mean, they don't need an Asian American activist. They already got, someone who looks and sounds like an activist, aka not like me. So
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get it. I'm so sick of it. You know what I mean? But so the thing
Like
is,
eventually,
yeah,
like eventually, that's something we come to the conclusion here in Memphis. What I'm dealing with, like everybody who don't fit that mold, and neoliberal mode, and our outcasts and shit like that. They literally we starting to form into a monster, and these fucking people in power are starting to look like fucking dinner. And I'm just saying, all the outcasts are literally coming together, and
that's what
like
I
and like
like.
who are the first outcasts? Like literally, who's the most main outcasts? Women of color, trans women, or people or trans people of color, and like literally, we always on the out fucking skirts. Like and like that's why a a place where people can center around. And like that's why people are most targeted because like we're so used to being on the outside, just they try to maintain that marginalization and shit, and it's just fucked. Like it's literally fucked. I'm sorry, I'm sorry my words, but like
Yeah.
it's just we're halfway there to being just outright genocide. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's in our media, it's in our stories for a few generations now. When it came to any LGBT character, but especially trans women, like how many fucking CSI episodes you see us just having a leg in the fucking garbage can? Neil Gaiman literally had a whole story arc about trans women being murdered, and the family still fucking dead name them on their graves. Like their friend had to come with a fucking lipstick to put their fucking name on it. It's fucking brutal.
Okay,
Like
yeah, a
literally
lot of people
treated as
watching though are not
trash.
don't know what dead name means. So, right, there's a lot of not people don't know about these issues because they're not personally in that life or, and we got to really
Uh,
kind of I think help them to really bridge that gap.
or your slave name, like or your government name. Oh
Yeah.
my bad, your government name. Or the name that was chosen for you. Once you choose your own name and find freedom through that or whatever, and come life through that name that you were prior is dead. That person is dead. Brandon is dead. Those, fuck it, because everybody like on the Let's Go Brandon train. That's my dead name. He's dead. Like I don't really see that person as living anymore. Like on some level, cosmic level, they still live on because that's a memory and shit like that. And it's part of energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed. And some part of me has that in me, but like at the end of the day, he's dead. I don't use that name anymore. Like, once every 7 years, every fucking molecule in your body's replaced. You're not even the same person you are that you was 7 years ago. You're dead. You die.
Yeah, yeah,
But if it's the North Star, you're already dead. It's like, fuck, man. Shemai, well, I can't say it, but fuck, you're already dead, man. Like we're already dead, and it's like that's just and people who try to just dead name you try to make sure you remember that you are still a fucking slave to
Yeah.
the system of patriarchy. That's why I just call it my slave name. I'm literally my name is fucking Kuta Kinte. God damn it! What the fuck? Like that's what it is. Like we gonna tell you who you are, and like shit. And I, from my point of view, my reply is I have no fucking masters. I don't have a master. Like I can be who
I'm
I
totally
want to
down with
be.
that. Yeah. Me neither. Yeah. I have my own name, DJL7. I have my own, rebirth, and I
Yes.
respect that struggle. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
but a
shit.
lot of people out there, they don't know about Asian American issues. They don't know about trans issues. This event now with the drag queen story hour, I want to try to like get the two sides to talk to each other because there's been so much, I would really like to see the violence not happen because things have been escalating for real. I don't want to see another shooting out here at the event. I think that would be ridiculous. And I think that if some of the critiques or some of the concerns that the protesters are coming with, right, are addressed, then maybe they would be less likely to, come out and bring violent solutions to the table. Maybe not, right? I really haven't interacted with them in that
No,
way.
they use that's their main tool of communication since the end of the fucking hunter gathering period of human civilization. You know, when people hoard, people as resources or women as resources. Like they never gonna let that shit go. That's them. Um, like I said, they have the status quo on their side. They're men. They're whites. Most likely, they're men and white. They have the status quo on their side. So it's only that is only what centrist is only going to do to our state of affairs and state of politics. Because, like, you ever heard of the ratchet effect? I don't know if I spoke of this before. When power is in the hands of the right or Republican or conservative movement, they're constantly moving things constantly to the right, and then you have the actual ratchet, the fucking liberal, the left, not the left, but the liberal Democratic Party who block things from going to the left, and then things constantly getting ratchet to the right, but not going back. So like when we constantly meet these people in the middle, we're
Yeah.
constantly getting closer to being fascists ourselves. And there are black fascists. Hey, Kanye. He was begging that he thought Adidas couldn't drop him. Now he's begging the sketches. I just want to say that that's fucking hilarious to me. Because like legit, there's no room for society for this ideology, these ideas. They're ideas
Yeah.
having real world effect on human lives and bodies. Like literally, like it's a slow genocide, and like with trans people and the homeless, and like they're not going to change those point of views. So honestly, until we actually do some damage to the prison, the military, and the prison, prison military industrial complex and all that shit, and these guns and shit like that, the markets of guns and all this shit and human trafficking. Every trans woman, especially every trans person and especially every trans person of color, need to be armed. Like literally, like legit. That's just what it is. I don't have a gun myself. I don't believe in guns, but it's getting to that point where I have to pick up a pistol or say be allow my body to be subject to fucking slavery or fucking persecution or fucking death.
If
Like,
society refuses to defend you, you are forced to defend yourself.
yeah, pretty much. Like literally, you have to use like I remember this woman, this woman from Oklahoma. She said, you have to use a white man's rope to hang him. You have to use his own laws to do whatever you can to survive and make sure you're defending your community and stuff like that. And I'm not
Yeah.
advocating for violence or anything like that, but like, I don't want that. I really wish we can put these guns down and go after the gun manufacturers themselves. Like, eventually, guns break. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you can't keep like who's making the shit?
Yo,
Who's dropping bombs on Palestine?
I got
Who's
love for the trans community, but I'm struggling to really move forward with the activism in this particular range, and I really appreciate hearing from you because I have not really, had the conflicts with Proud Boys, right, or whatever, right? I don't even know what their names are, right? I was out of the country while all that stuff was going on. But
Like literally, I seen these people burn a car to make a group of people in Louisville, Kentucky, to like be forced into the church. These people almost burned a fucking church, man. Like doing the Breonna Taylor protest, shit like that. You know, Louisiana, not Louisiana, Louisville, Kentucky, they have open carry and shit. I feel like that's just another way to excuse the police to like entrap people in that shit and like
Yeah.
just
There's people coming from out of state too, and like I feel like the way that's
yeah.
coordinated across the nation, I feel like
Yeah.
this is a setup for real.
Well, we
So
all know law enforcement has like deep connections with all right, with all right, you know what I'm saying? Black and white officers. You know what I'm saying? The
there's some
like I
in there,
said,
yeah.
they send people to fucking Ukraine to train them
Some are
and
worse
like
than
work
others,
with
yeah.
some of these
Yeah.
ashes and they bring them back here to you know, places like Tennessee and take over towns like that. Like they're like Memphis is like a little blue dot in the sea of
Yeah.
red, and like you have little miniature communes and throughout the state and whatever. But there's a lot of small towns where literally just overrun. They're still sundown towns.
I'm
Like
not gonna say that all the New York City cops are okay, but like versus other places like California,
mhm.
probably like in Tennessee, right, and other like I've been in rural areas too. New York City cops are generally better with that type of thing.
Yeah, I've been to
Not
San
yeah,
Fran and like the police there. Like I'm like that was my first pride.
yeah,
That was my first pride. I'm smoking blunt in front of the officer, and like I'm not getting fucking slammed against a car. Oh my god, it's like wild as fuck. I'm like, oh my god, I'm just walking here. I'm walking here.
yeah,
I'm walking here. I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's the only thing I know about New York. My bad.
No,
But like
that's
I feel
yeah.
like I just
Not
but
saying they
like
don't
no
have bad
legit.
ones, but there are, yeah,
I've been like fucking harassed all my life by the police before coming out of the closet. And
yeah.
like people pulled me out and put me in the back of the car for wearing red pants and just wearing pants. Like, oh my God. Like one full be on my
Yeah.
drawers. Oh my God.
But a
I'm
lot of
sorry.
times, right, when there is white supremacy, it's actually at the highest levels, and that actually affects policy. Like, why do you see cops like in the train station, but not on Wall Street, right? Like straight up,
Mm-hmm.
like there's, so
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Like
can make a
literally it's
difference. Yeah.
like it's all just to police the poor. Cause like let's say legit 40% and like it's really just to make slaves. I'm not gonna say
Okay.
police the poor, it's just to make slaves. Because like you have 40% of our city budget that's strictly going to the police and like everything else is being neglected and like you putting people in points of poverty, points of fucking poverty and like points of vulnerability where they have to commit crime just to live in your city. And it's like, you know, and like that's the one thing that Trump like did. Like I'm not Trump, man. Don't get me wrong, like he's a fucking monster. But he actually gave people fucking checks. And like that showed that crime just went down. Like crime literally went down in Memphis. Like it's like literally just
But
giving
yeah,
I'm not trying to advocate for anything like universal basic income or anything like that, but
yeah.
like they literally just they're when you just give people money to like live, like you have less criminals. People in Memphis are very in the hood, are very peaceful, and they're very kind. Like there's some lot of gangsters that like literally romantic people. I'm not even trying like there's not even just real kind people. Like really fucked up. But like once you put in like the need to survive and competition, people heart of darkness, man. Like people gonna fucking turn into beasts. Like literally, that's what they treat us as, and that's how you can't expect people to not act as a monster when you treat them as a monster. You know what I'm
I
trying
agree
to
with
say?
that. Yeah, I agree with
I'm
that.
sorry, like
Yeah.
I said, I'm not advocating for Trump or none of that bullshit or none of that, but like bitches got to check. And like we seen how what happens when you have an incompetent fool fucking shit up for the whole paradigm. Shit gets exposed. Like this shit is all most poverty is fucking manufactured. Most of our society is fucking manufactured. Why what isn't real? What is real in this bitch? What's real? Like everybody trying to get to find what the fuck a woman is. What is real? Do you know what's real is? Do you even know? Do you even step on the ground if you walk outside? Do you even know that shit? People, I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but people don't even know this shit, man. Like it's like what is real anymore, man?
Actually, you're ranting. The thing is that your message has been suppressed though, and there's a lot of
Mm-hmm,
people with agendas that push right the people that are given right a platform because they'll say what they want them to say. So
mm-hmm,
honestly, because your message has been held down, right? Yeah, I'm here to help lift it up and bring that shit back to justice because honestly,
mm-hmm.
you're doing a lot of good work and
I
what
feel
you
that.
have is pent up because really what you're really doing is just trying to bring balance back because you've been treated so unfairly time and again. You're like, I just want one time I could get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why we should support independent journalism, like
Yeah.
legit. Because like anybody with a profit motivation is gonna be motivated by the profit. They're gonna be like not just profit like to fucking survive and pay bills, but like a lot of this shit is commercialized and all this shit is just puts people on a point where they need to compete with each other, and damn near everybody is a fucking whore because everybody in the fucking gotta suck somebody dick to get anything past anything on any fucking network TV because like they all maintain the same hierarchies, you know.
Yeah. So, look, I can understand, right, a lot of people that are buying into the mainstream narrative, right? Like they heard about, like, I'm just gonna take an example that's close but not the same thing. Like Leah Thomas, right? They see someone who, looks a little different, right? And then they see her winning the thing, and they get all worked up about it. And then they pay attention to that instance of what they think of as unfairness, right? But don't pay attention to the daily, right? The job discrimination, the housing discrimination that happens to trans people. They're all mad, right? Because this one instance, and it just seems so unfair. And bringing that to people's attention, and I think can help bring them around to be more supportive. So when we take a look at the attack on the drag queen story hour, right? I think some of those arguments against drag queen story hour have some compelling parts to it, but upon further examination, right, we have to see that maybe for example, right, one of the things that I see is that some of the people are going to say, some of the books that they're reading at these events are not really cool, but that's right. But guess what? That could also happen at a Catholic church. We know the Catholic Church also has these types of I'm not saying that the trans community is completely clear of these predatory behaviors, but not all of them are guilty either. Just like not all Catholic priests are bad. And if I just show on the screen right now, like there's like over 50 known cases. If you say the top female sexual harassment of young boys and stuff like that, it's 49 white women and 1 black woman. So and most of them are conventionally attractive. I think you've heard of some of the more mainstream stories of conventionally attractive white women having sex with their underage boys in the classroom. Are we going to ban them all from story hour? Are we going to ban them all from interacting with children?
Ban all white women. Oh my god.
That would be hilarious, right? They're not even talking about that or even thinking about that. The fairness is only working in one direction and not the other. So I'm not saying that we can't, right, have some type of review or discussion about the books that are being read at the event. But when I looked at the books that they're pointing out as being problematic, I don't see those books on the list that's put out here in New York City on the New York Drag Queens. They put out a list of the books that they're reading to the kids, and I haven't seen the controversial books yet. I don't really know this topic, right? There's several books.
What is this? What is one of these controversial books?
Okay, I'll show you right now. Actually, let me see if I can share that on the screen with you. Okay. Look, it's possible, right? If there was okay, so let me share with you right now. Okay. Because I've actually interacted with people, like some people in real life, so I'm like, struggling to really bring it all together. Okay. So, and look, I know like a lot of this stuff is triggering, and I really appreciate the strength that it comes to come out here and confront these issues, because it's not easy. And I really appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
So
I just tried it. I like legit. It's just too much to not try.
Yeah. So here's actually, I'm going to share right now. There's this guy over here, and you can see that there's this book. I think the title of it is, what is it called?
I'm here in Barnes and Nobles, here in the kids section, taking a look at the kids' books. And here's this book called What's Happening to Me? And it's for children. This is for children. It's right here. What's an erection?
Is the volume supposed to be on?
Is what is being taught.
Oh yeah, I have the volume up. Yeah, it says what's an erection, right? You can see it right there. Then you can see, right, the picture of the guy here with a heart on. Then you could see this lady without any clothes on, right? Yeah. And look, there could be, right, right, I could see where this is.
I'm kind of confused. The only thing I see is somebody holding a plastic bag.
Oh no? Okay, let me see.
Yeah,
okay.
I see guys in the elevator, one having something about Biden and Trump.
Oh no, that's okay. My bad. I moved it to another screen. Okay, let me do the reshare. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm like, am I seeing something?
No, I didn't
like,
share the right. I moved it actually to another screen. Okay. I'm gonna share
but
this
somebody's
over
naked.
here. Now you're gonna see us. Okay, and here it is. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, here it is.
What
Here
the
in
hell?
Barnes and Nobles, here in the kids section, taking a look at the kids' books. And here's this book called What's Happening to Me? And it's for children. This is for children. It's right here. What's an
Yeah, I don't have
erection
any volume.
is
Okay, but you can see it says here, what's an erection, right?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Look, I'm not saying right, like
That's a lot of words too. Who the fuck wrote this?
I don't know, right? Not saying that, right? There's probably books that are more appropriate for children, books that are less appropriate for children, right? That's up to each community to decide, right?
I have
Uh,
a feeling whoever wrote this is like, I don't know what the fuck. Yeah,
it's
why?
it's
Why? They
it's a little
don't.
weird to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like one. Who the hell's gonna? I'm pretty sure there's gonna be fucking parents in this thing. Who the fuck's gonna read anything like that? And two, this seems like something like some evangelical shit to like try to explain to kids like what's going on. That's what I'm
could
trying to say.
be.
I'm not trying to just
Yo, you're
say who
right.
they. I'm
Yeah,
like, who the fuck writes something like
there
this?
are some churches out there that are also putting out stuff like this, right? So it's not
I believe
really
it.
only
Like
right.
literally, I
Yeah.
literally like I'm really recovering from an incident from a church that I was working with last year and shit like that at the Abbey and shit like that. Like this man was like the fucking executive director of a nonprofit and shit ran by subsidiary of a fucking Catholic church in St. Mary's and shit. And like he was basically fucking women that were like not mentally all there, and saying she would give them resources that he's supposed to be giving to them for fucking anyway.
And
So literally,
exploiting them and probably taking advantage of them. Yeah, it's
yeah,
rampant. It's
yeah,
horrible.
no, it's like really fucked up, and like, that's like a lot of things that people don't really talk about. How churches in general are like just very predatory,
Yeah.
from the get go. Um, when I was texting you earlier, I was talking about the old ghosts of Rome
Right.
fucking hunting over us, and like I feel like church, organized religion is like one of those fucking things
Yeah.
we're dealing with from the old dying Roman Empire. Because like legit, like it's broken down in three phases and shit like that. It's been negated. The Roman Empire been negated in three parts. That
Yeah.
is the Roman Catholic Church, organized crime, or the mafia, and also organized religion. And shit like, I already said that part, but also the Justinian Code, our laws that our society is built on. Is built on Justinian Code. It's built on Roman law and old rules of Rome and shit like that. And we still have to deal with these fucking consequences of this and shit. Like, there's like
Yeah.
all this shit is made up,
Yeah.
like
So
literally by
look,
guys
I'm
that don't have any relations, by men that don't have any relationship to the world, to the living world that we live in now.
so
Shit like
be
that,
it
man.
right, be it Catholic, the Catholic Church, be it the Boy Scouts, be it
Baptist.
any of these groups, I'm okay with reviewing, right, the materials and saying, is this something that, our community wants to show to our kids, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I would actually promote trans inclusivity 100%. So the thing is that right, just the way that there's a good way to present the trans community to kids, and I think there's a negative way to do it, right?
Yeah,
There's
of
it
course.
could be both ways. So if there could meet some common ground, so some of the critiques that are made by the protesters are just out of bounds, right? So some of them are just straight like homophobic, some of them are straight like anti-trans in general, right? And those things, right, can be identified for what they are and dismissed. But
Mhm.
to say that, right, any book that they're reading is okay, and I understand where there's a defensive attitude where people are saying like, look, we need to really, we're so repressed. We need to really, fight for our own. But are those people even really
Yeah,
your own, right? There's a
yeah.
lot of fakes
I
out
don't
there.
think one. I
Yeah.
don't think one anybody's actually asking to read such books. Are they? If they're not, if they
It's
are,
not
then
on the
that's
list from New
fucked.
York Public Library. So I think
So
they've already
yeah, I feel like
taken,
this
yeah.
whole, I feel like going through the motions of, it feel like a straw man argument, really, because like literally, who's going out their way to like be included in society and be very alienating at
Well,
the
what
same
they'll
time.
do is
Like
they'll find one
it's
kook
very
to say it,
possible.
and then they'll raise that person to the sky and say, "Look, this is what they're all like." When
Yeah,
obviously
I
it's
know
not
that's
true.
fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fucked.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
So
fucked.
I'm hoping that we can really show, right, um, that the that the trans community is not necessarily like the characters that they're portraying, right? And really, and I understand the hurt and I understand the exclusion, not from the trans community, from my own perspective, which is not the same or maybe even equal, but I'm really hoping that we can find a way to work together and, and so as in terms of like, the thing is that the right wing, like you said, the ratcheting, right? They're actually talking to me. The Guardians of Divinity who are organizing the protest tomorrow, they're sending me messages. They're saying like, yeah, we're ready to talk, blah blah blah. The other side is really not talking to me. The organizers, I have some random people that are actually emailing me, who seem to be invested in this particular fight, and they're making accusations. And I get right where they're mistrustful. I get that, right? But
Well, hold up. Okay.
yeah, okay.
Okay. So the people that organize this thing, they already put out a list of what they're reading, right?
I think that's a great way to counter some of the critiques. Yeah, I would
So
actually.
wait,
Yeah,
have they put out a list or have they not?
they have actually. Let me share with you on the screen right now. Yeah, Drag Queen, New York City, yeah, it's a pretty long list, but to me it shows that they are addressing some of the concerns of the protesters, possibly, right? I mean that seems to be evidence for that. So rather than saying the protesters are all anti-gay, because I know some of them are actually gay, because I've actually been to some
Oh yeah,
events
no,
where they're
there's no
actually,
doubt about that. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie. Like I said, last hired, first fired, and shit. That like you're gonna get everybody you can on your side, and then pretty much dump them when you're done using them.
So if you go to the Drag Story Hour NYC, okay,
Yeah.
if I go to About, you can see the book list, and this is the list of their books here, right? But also
Okay.
other things that I don't hear being asked are, I want to know, right? Yeah, they say that they're charging right 700, like anywhere from free to $1,000 per event. How much are these performers getting paid? I want to know that too. You know what I mean? Are they being taken advantage of? I don't hear anything about that. You know what I mean? They if they're charging $1,000 for the event, I would like to see, these people compensated, the workers. Yeah, I don't hear about that. So I hope they're not being used by some other organization for. Hopefully not. We'll see. Yeah. But their books, once again, I did not, that book that was in that video that I showed you is not on this list. And when you look at the right, Princess and the Pony, doesn't seem
Mhm.
so bad, right? Not quite Narwhal, doesn't seem, Worm loves Worm. I Am Famous, Born Bad. That's a little weird to me, but
I am famous.
mostly just to add glitter. They don't really seem like, I have to actually see the book, but Kevin the Unicorn is not all rainbows. I mean, damn, all right, I mean, maybe these don't seem like really problematic, right? I don't see like, insert penis into little kids, you know what I mean? I don't see that
What?
as any of these titles.
Yeah, true that. True that.
Yeah.
Harriet gets carried away.
Jimmy Kimmel, what are you, oh my god, whatever, yeah, this guy.
Hmm.
Hopefully it's not also a grounds for these celebrities to insert and make money off of this community. I really hope that's not the case. I'm super skeptical.
So wait,
Maybe he's really
why won't the organizers talk to you?
well, I have an email that actually from some supposed supporter. Maybe because I'm an Asian American activist. There's no such thing, all right? Yeah. Also, I don't have a real following.
Wait, what?
Who knows?
There's no such thing
Maybe they're
as
covering up.
Asian
I don't know.
American activists?
There's no such thing as an Asian American activist. Whatever.
Wouldn't they say there's no such thing as black trans socialists? What's going on here? I don't
you,
know.
you know. Let me actually read to you something that someone sent me. It said, "It should be no surprise that the people begging for legitimacy will give you the time of day to spread their propaganda, while those whose positions are legitimate will not." Seems a little weird to me. One example of this is that you repeatedly messaged UARF NYC, that is United Against Racism and Fascism NYC.
What are you reading off of? I'm sorry.
Someone sent me an email. These are people that are actually liking and retweeting the tomorrow's counter protest to support the. I don't want to reveal their email or their name personally. You know what I mean? But look, it could be any kook out there, right, saying this email, but they seem pretty involved as an activist. They say that in the claim message, I claim to be curious. I'm unlikely to get a response, which you'll likely claim as proof that their position is indefensible. The reality is that the effort was transparently unserious and illegitimate. So, and there's another person who also emailed me that is right questioning my They're saying that they think that, and I understand why they might think that, right? They're saying that I'm some right winger who's deliberately trying to infiltrate the movement. I'm gonna ask you guys, what have you guys done for trans people for real? Yeah, show me, right? I've actually asked over 60 candidates, right? You can check my
Man,
work where I've asked them, right, about like trans accessibility to public housing, stuff like that, right? So what have you guys actually done before? And maybe you have, and if you are doing real work for the trans people and really actually looking at their issues, I celebrate you, and I invite you onto the channel. But they're saying that I'm illegitimate, I'm unserious, and so that's one reasoning that's being given. I'm just not hearing from. I'm gonna check again. I just have not. Check on the Twitter where I sent them the message.
all right. Well, here's the thing
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
that. Something I realize in like, mostly leftist spaces and shit like that, like here in Memphis, you know, when it comes to like leftist theory and all this like this shit, I just got from hand-me-downs, like from working within the community, talking to people and stuff like that. A lot of people who dominate these spaces are well read and well educated, and also come from well-fed family backgrounds and shit like that.
Goddamn right.
So they don't really, they really good at talking about praxis and really good at talking about the ideology, but don't really get in the dirt and grind of working with people and all that shit like that. But like those people that you can just tears off a tears off a duck's ass type shit. Just let that shit go, man. As for people on the right, yeah, they're gonna try like the devil gonna always sound sweet, man. Like that's what it is. Like because you want to like save these people and people who are narcissists, they take advantage of that and take advantage of people who are empathetic, that still see the humanity in them. And like I say, I do that myself. Because like I was able to pull some people out from that fucked up ideology. They're not actually leftists, but they're not putting a fucking gun to my face right now. Like honestly, you could just pick up who you can, but after a while, you gotta just, you know, gotta move on to the next lost cause. You know what I mean? And everyone is the lost cause. That's
Yeah,
what they always say. But
yeah,
there are some that you always gonna pull some victories out of. Like if you want to show these people that you're serious, not proving these armchair leftists and shit like that, but like the drag queens, the people in need, because like for them to feel safe for you, hey, at least do a show. Because you don't have to be gay, straight, LGBT to but do drag. Anyone can do drag. It's a universal thing. It's a spectrum thing. Like actually show support. Like drag. Like I did drag for the first time last month, and that was in response to the march near shooting because like our fucking police director, the director of the police department said um, that conversation moved too far to the left about how the police did nothing to help these women, help these people, the performers, these workers. They didn't do anything to the fucking fascist armed men. They made the drag queens leave. They like literally violation of their rights to work and perform and do the arts and add on to society and stuff like that. So like literally we all know who the police are gonna come down, whose side they're gonna be on. So like why be on their side or even see their side has any legitimacy from my point of view? You know what I'm saying? So
you know what?
show
Yeah.
support, do drag, like tell them, hey, it's not gonna end the world. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Mhm.
an interesting concept. I've not really you know, I'm not really sure that I'm ready to do drag myself, but what I am willing to do is, right, and I appreciate that, right, but I'm willing to find my local story hour, right, yeah, or even maybe set up a, right, am I ready to host a drag queen children's reading hour? I'm not sure I'm ready for that, but I do think that people that are trans do deserve to be able to be included in normal children's reading hours. So I will actually try to find one that's happening locally, and right, and see if anybody wants to participate. I will help them, right? Yeah, participate as a normal person, right? And whatever the normal people are, have to be reviewed for content, whatever. They'll be
There's no
subject to
such
the
thing as
same thing,
normal,
but
by the way.
let's
I'm
be
just saying.
fair and include them, right, and not exclude them, right? And
Mhm.
just and I will actually take personal and move on that. So, I'm gonna see the gardens of I I'm worried. Both sides probably don't really seem to be with me, but you're with me. I appreciate that. Yeah.
like I
we'll just
said,
see how we
man,
can move
all this
forward.
shit is all steeped in illusions of separation and shit.
Yeah, word up.
In reality, like reality, there's like no real form of separation from these people. Like they're still people. We're still all people. One nation. One planet. Very fucking ephemeral. Dust in the wind. I'm definitely not saying you have to do drag. No, no, no.
No,
Sorry.
I feel you.
It
Just
sounds weird.
yeah.
I'm thinking about that, but like,
No, that's
yeah.
cool. I respect that, right? That's a great way to prove it, and I'm just
There's
not
no need
ready
to
to do that,
prove.
but I
You don't have nothing
appreciate
to
that. Yeah.
prove. I'm just giving you an example. There's nothing to prove. Your own individual. I'm sorry. That's blah 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 blah.
That was a great
Yeah.
suggestion, though. Yeah.
Huh?
Actually, the guy from New York Undercover. There
Mm-mm.
was a he actually went and dragged himself to actually support the community. Oh,
Yeah.
let me look
And
at
I
his
thought
name.
about doing drag as a Proud Boy. Like a coming out the closet drag a Proud Boy.
Okay.
You get like a whole fucking camo tutu or something like that. I don't know. Like, I'm not really good at fucking drag at all. I just did it for the first time. My makeup was awesome because my partner is awesome. They're in the corner over there. Can you want to say hey, Zoe? Hold on.
Hey, what's up? All right.
They're fantastic makeup artists. But like, shit, just like I think now is the point where we have to let the artists decide where we want the society to go to, and like you guys just produce their art and like do something, like show your love for life. It's like that. Stop putting the next fucker down. Stop trying to get your thumb off somebody else's neck and actually produce art. Go hard in the paint, bitch. Do something. Like literally, like live your life. Like that's the greatest art of all. And like and why is we letting the fucking government, the police, the Proud Boys, the one what's the fuck they called, oath keepers and all that shit? Why are we letting them get in the way of our flow of life? Fuck that.
I don't really know about those communities, but I do have to pay attention to the people that's been there firsthand, like yourself, that have
Mm-hmm.
been, experienced it, so I can really learn the truth, right? Primary sources matter for real.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna figure it that night. It's gonna be in my back of my mind to my dying days when I'm hitting my grave. Like that night in Louisville, Kentucky, and shit like that. Like me and my friends, we thought we were gonna come help. We're from Memphis, shit like that. My friends, one of my friends bought fucking yard stakes. I bought a boat oar. Like we were gonna do some shit, but no, you can't do shit with fucking rocks. And they got fucking military tanks, and half the city is, a majority of the city has fucking AKs, fucking rifles, and like literally, as soon as the fucking car blew up and shit like that. Everybody was in the church. And next thing you know, you got the Proud Boys driving around the church with police sirens on the back of their trucks, pickup trucks and shit like that, just riding around like fucking sharks in the water because they smelled blood. Like that, like literally. And next thing you know, you had the fucking police knock on church saying lying. They lied and said that if y'all just come out the church, if anybody have any weapons, anybody have any weapons, we're gonna let y'all go. Just come out the church. Everybody put up the shit first and foremost, because they lie anyway.
Yeah.
And
I'm
at
sure
the
the
end of the
racism that
night, at the
happens
end of the
in
night, they
yeah.
arrested 11 cars worth of people, and I'm like, it was just so happened somebody, a black queer person who worked with a version of Black Lives Matter Memphis, not Memphis, but Black Lives Matter, told us, hey, go this way. And none of these organizations are real. Like it's all made up of people and all that shit. And like it was a person that saved my life, not an organization. This is whatever. It's like a lot of bitches out here making money and like to actually do any fucking good.
Yeah, what's
I'm
going on in
sorry, that's
Memphis, I think, is
just
definitely going to be more extreme in some ways, being closer to the South, being, less, having less minorities, right, than New York City, which is mostly minority, right? Tennessee just outnumbers
it
is going to
tends
cause, yeah.
Memphis is like it's like 70% black.
Oh,
Um
okay.
no, I take that back. It's 64% black. We have a large Asian community and a growing Hindi community. Um and it's about the rest of that is white or white presenting,
Yeah.
with like 2-3% growing population of Hispanic and shit like that. And it's like, yeah, it's like a little blue dot. And even then,
Yeah.
the black people and the Asian people, not Asian people, the black people, some of the Latino people, a lot of them are fucking conservative. So like I have to deal with that too. So it's like I have to deal with like
Yeah.
literally people
I've
yell
seen
at
that
me
before
for
too.
burning sage, like for fucking burning sage, for burning sage in the park and try, shit like that. And like,
So
I'm
the
the
trans
fucking
community
devil.
has existed for across many cultures, across all cultures,
Yeah,
and has existed for all of known history.
yeah,
Every
pretty
culture that
much.
we know have had some trans community in there, so it's part of the human experience.
Mhm.
And the way that we've treated this minority group is really sickening to me. And I stand with y'all for
Mhm.
real.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
and it's my heart with you. Yeah, for real. That's why I'm gonna show up tomorrow to try to capture the realness. And I'm just trying to stop the violence. I know some people wanna portray me in another way. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know what I mean? So what? Yeah. I'm so well, I hopefully not, right? But I'm willing to stand
Listen,
on this
like
principle.
the best thing you can do is just constantly spread ideas and stuff like that. For you, man, I wouldn't put your don't. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but like try to, like I said, try to do what you're doing. Try to
Yeah.
fight the violence and
We're gonna
shit.
stay in contact and we're gonna
Don't
keep working on
don't
issues, yeah? The
don't let this shit destroy you. Don't let this shit destroy you. Don't let it
I'm worried
destroy
if
you.
I'm gonna come out alive tomorrow, you know what I mean? Like they
Because
had shootings in Colorado, both sides are sending me like, seem to have concerns, right? I don't think either side was gonna be happy with me, right? I'm not really on a
yeah,
side, but
yeah, most group of people are made of dipshits. Like you gotta find like 10% of people
yeah,
in any group to actually work with, and like,
yeah,
and so the rest of those percent of people, you're the dipshit. So everybody's a dipshit. I
yeah.
don't know. I just don't know what to fucking say to you or that, man.
On the left
But
side, you got your elitists, right? The people that are like doing well, right? Telling the poor people how to live and how to fix their lives, not
mhm.
listening to us. On the right side, you got people attacking us. God damn, like we just in this, we just in the bottom of the shit altogether. You know what I mean? All the,
Yeah, true.
yeah,
Like legit. Yeah, for real, for real, for real.
but
The
yeah,
60s, 70s was a long time ago. People were well more informed than we are now. And the only thing we need to do is just be informed in our decision and like not just bring up gun violence or anything like that. But it don't even need to be weapons of guns or whatever. Like, but we do need to talk about self-defense.
yeah,
Like legit, like carry a knife or something, like learn how to mix some chemicals to like burn somebody's fucking face from fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark. That shit. I don't know, man. It's something. I'm sorry. I'm being
no,
silly at that
yo,
point,
that
but
that
like
makes a
for
lot of
real,
sense.
people need to fucking defend themselves.
Yeah, the protesters tomorrow, I'm gonna be, they invited me to their like little thing, so I'm going to actually be filming some of that. And just if any of you guys have problem with trans people, just so you know, I'm gonna be at the event. I'm with them. I like them.
100,
They're my friends. Yeah, and I got they
100.
back.
I feel
Now,
you.
yeah, straight up. Yeah. So we're gonna see how that pops off. But right, these people are human beings, and I really appreciate you guys treating them as they're my friends. And hopefully you guys are my friends too. And I hope that there's more discussion. A lot of you guys' concerns, which I think right maybe have some validity, right? They're already addressing them, I think, in some ways. Unfortunately, the elites don't want to talk to me. They aren't talking to you. Don't mistake those people, right, for the people that need your help, right? Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that right, I'm gonna look into it locally. And if anybody's watching here I'm in Ridgewood. You know what I mean? There's a local library. That's probably extremely controversial, but not trying to bring the controversy. It's just another human being that wants to engage in the part and participate like everybody else in this world does, and get to just be treated like a normal human being. That's fair. Yeah. So I really appreciate you coming on. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
there's other trans people working. They're busy doing other things. You know what I mean? And on such short notice. But you've been. I really appreciate this. Yeah. I hope I make it out
Uh, it's all
unscathed. We'll see.
it's all good. Like I said, just doing the work as much as I can, wherever I can. All this is random, so you got me today to do this randomly because I don't have really good access on my phone anymore. So I had to like email that link and shit.
Hey,
Yada
so
yada yada.
you've helped me
So
out. Now I want to. I know that right now you're talking about some people froze to death in Tennessee.
yeah,
Maybe you have some other
every
parts. Yeah.
every fucking year, somebody frees to death in Memphis. Literally, back in 2016, woman froze to death on a $6,000 cop camera. And the fucking city workers footage of city workers just walking past her as she froze to death. But like literally, we have enough cameras to like end homelessness. Like it's how much these damn things are worth. They $6 grand per camera, and we have almost thousands of these damn things. Like I almost say thousands of these damn things, and people are literally freezing to death right under them. Um, it's basically one big genocide machine. You don't really even need the police. The only thing you need to do is withhold the funds, and they just so happen to give those funds to the police. And all of a sudden, got money for robot dogs and fucking to terrorize people like fucking Terminator. But we can't actually feed people, clothe people, because like legit, we're slaves. Maybe we shouldn't be mad at fucking drag queens. Maybe we should be mad at people who are treating us like slaves.
I'm
It's
sharing
like,
this on the screen right now. Tomorrow you have a protest at 10 a.m. at City Hall, 125 North Main Street, Memphis, Tennessee. You can see the bodies of the people that or the sites where people froze to death. This is unacceptable. And thanks for actually caring about people, right? Rather than being right, whatever the news is saying at the latest moment. Oh, we gotta do this. You actually care about the people that's actually hurt, and that's
yeah, pretty
real.
much.
Yeah, I really
Pretty
appreciate
much.
that. Yeah. So how can people join Memphis DSA or send you guys support?
You can go to our local page, DSA Memphis, Tennessee, or honestly, shit, feel free to email us or email me, and I can get whatever. Like, fuck
Okay.
it. I don't do emails, man. Like, just you can get here, please get here. Like, literally, it's just so many people are just bogged down with labor. It's so many people dying that so people are too busy to actually get on local politician ads. So if y'all can make a little sabbatical and cause some fucking trouble, that'd be cool too. I don't know, like y'all can just look us up, Google DSA Memphis, Tennessee. Wait, my bad. Miss South, Memphis Mid South DSA. Yeah, that's you have to say it like that. Memphis Mid South DSA. And that's how you can contact us like that.
And a lot of these
Uh,
organizations will die, right? Yeah, but the thing is that the people live on.
yeah.
So, right, yeah, and sometimes these groups get taken over by these elites and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely support Salamander Brandy as well.
Because
Definitely a
like
friend
legit
of
Memphis
mine.
DSA, we I'm not gonna say anything about national, but like there's things I just can't. We put out public statements about how we just don't support national in their decision to support Israel. You know what I'm saying,
I
against the
get that.
Palestinian
Yeah,
people. So like that's our thing and
they
shit like
got
that.
bought
But
out. Yeah.
in reality, we're just people. We need help. People need help. Um, you know, uh, there's a few of us, and a lot of us are bogged down. Some of us are immigration lawyers, school teachers, professors, and like, and we are all barely getting enough money to fucking survive. And yeah, if anybody can just come up and like, hey, we'll tell you all about local politics and everything, just like break all that. We need somebody to break this up because like they really depend on us to be so fucking busy.
You know what?
But
I
that's
actually I made a website for my friend Mark who does disability advocacy. I should make a website for you. Maybe get like a Cash App link on there and stuff like that so people can donate
sure,
stuff like that. Yeah.
sure, because like I have a church too. So
Okay.
like legit, that's most work I do on most of my work on there. It's like I said, as DSA Memphis, we just come together to
How can
collab.
people
It's a
find that
collaboration.
church? What's that
Huh?
church? How can people find
Uh,
that church?
uh, right now we're only located on Facebook. That is Path of the Holy Hands Memphis. And basically, yeah, that's how we spread our word or whatever. People can contact me if they want to do things for the church or help, help trans women who are homeless or help anyone who's homeless or anything like that. Like we try to just so far we're low staff and we just try to spread information to the rest of the city at large.
Okay, I'm sharing that on my screen right now. I see the fist with the rainbow above it, right? I see a couple
Yes.
of posts here. So, right, Facebook, you could just type in Path of the Holy Hands Memphis as I'm showing on the screen. You could join them, and
You say
that's
you're
an ally
showing it on
right
the
there.
screen?
I just did, yeah. Not I didn't
Okay.
share it on your screen, but I just drag it over so people can see it on the live
Like I said,
stream.
I just started at church with my partner and a few others. Uh, like since February 2021. And our main tenet is nobody should be made homeless without consent. Like that's our religious belief. We believe that. Like
You could
we come
join
together
them,
on that.
and
Like,
there's
yeah,
actually a new fight with that going on because here in New York, right? What happened is that now that Mayor Adams has said that they no longer you don't need to have consent from the homeless people to put them into medical, what is it called, to put them into mental health facilities.
yeah, boom. Like I said, like next thing you know,
Yeah,
you'll be putting in a FEMA camp.
yeah, and then
You
they
know what
put,
I'm saying? And that's like a right conspiracy.
yo,
Like,
it's horrible. They just now they're trying to implement that in LA and they may try to
Mhm.
roll that to the rest of the country without really talking about it. There is a new war on the homeless people, on the trans people, on all the people, right? They're trying to, when they say stop Asian hate, right? That was happening before, but all of a sudden, right? They're trying to, right, say the black people responsible for what about the white people that's hurting us too? You don't hear anything about that. You know what I mean? They're
Mhm.
trying to reframe it, and they're trying to guide the black people and the Asian people to go against each other.
Oh, like black
Hell
on black
no.
colorism crime. Like, no, man.
Yeah.
Like, crime happens based on location, not on color. And I'm not gonna go to fucking leave Colorado just to go commit a crime in Memphis because somebody's black. That's nonsensical. These are bad
Yeah.
arguments. But no, they literally trying to send steal consent away and manufacture a consent that fits their narrative and agenda, or whatever you want to fucking call it. And like literally, I literally had an awakening like back in 2018, and I'm like, these people, like, you can't make people homeless without their consent. If they consent to like not being cared for or not, like, let them go. Like, you can't hold
Yeah.
nobody hostage. You
Yeah.
can't force somebody out of their home. Like,
Or
if
into
either
medical
either
care. That's not medical care. They're gonna put you in a straitjacket,
Mhm.
maybe not even feed you. You know what I mean? And then they're going to treat you even more inhumanely than the prison system possibly.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much. And like that's the long history of the mental health institute as well. Like they just do that to put people away.
yeah.
They out of sight, out of mind. Like I said, another genocide. Like it's just genocide with extra steps.
Yo, we got to
Um,
get together. We're under attack right now.
yeah,
They see the
like I said,
financial crisis, which they screwed up with stealing all the money. Now they're
yeah,
trying to make us fight each other for, man, no.
yeah. Like that's another point of my church and shit like that about this financial crisis. Either you know everybody pay taxes or nobody pay taxes. It was like if you don't, why is anyone paying any fucking taxes at all? It's like say it's just like why pay property tax on goddamn anything if you're being forced out of your home. You know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
don't
Like
make my money, so I'm broke as hell. So I basically, well, how can I pay taxes when I'm so poor? Yeah, I really
yeah,
don't. So,
is that too. Like why force anyone out of their fucking home? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So like literally, no. This is like I feel like this is a movement, a
God put this
spiritual
earth on the
awakening
ground. Who are you to say
myself.
that this is my land and not yours? You know, this is,
Yeah, no, right? Who named
yeah,
this shit?
yeah.
Was
Who
isn't it all
decided? Yeah.
stolen? It's stolen. I thought it was stolen.
Who put this earth on the ground here? It wasn't you. You know what I
And
mean?
like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know this, but the people in Memphis, the mass majority of the people in Memphis belong to Chickasaw County in the first fucking place. You know what I'm saying? The shit is stolen. Like that's the name. That's the real name. They call it Shelby County, who was a fucking genocidal murderer. Shelby, fuck that guy. It's Chickasaw. We took something and renamed it again and shit. It's like, man, it's just fucked up, man. Like it just made everything part of their religion, their culture, just colonized the fuck out of Memphis, Tennessee, North Carolina, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us are indigenous to this state, and nobody even want to say that or recognize that or give people their fucking land back. I can go on all day. I'm
Well, you
sorry,
got, yeah.
man.
We both have
I
events
rant.
going off tomorrow, right? Tomorrow you go into that to
Oh,
address the
yes.
issue of the homeless. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to help make sure that a shooting doesn't occur tomorrow at the
Mm-hmm.
drag queen story reading hour. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
please,
And
like I
we'll see
said,
what's
take
up.
care of yourself as well, and don't get yourself hurt as
We'll
well.
see. Happy New Year. And I'm
Happy New
definitely
Year.
looking forward to doing more work with you. We have a
Mhm.
lot of stuff to work on. I'm super excited. Yeah. God
Yeah,
bless.
maybe next time I won't be fucking bald headed.
It's all good. It's all good. I need a haircut at some point. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah. Any other last thing that I can do to help you, or any last thing you want to say before I pretty much said what I gotta say.
Like I said, I don't want to be a drama queen, even though I am. It's like the fucking electrolytes for me. But no, the truth is, man, we are fighting against backstepping to an era of brutality, like but just backstepping to brutality, backstepping to slavery and forced labor. We can't have that no more. Support your local fucking railroad workers, your
Hell
railroad
yeah.
strikers. Cause like that's another industry that they have come through in Memphis as well. Cause like I said, we're the distribution capital of America. Like support, make their labor easier as possible. Make it easier for them to like go on strike. keep that in your heart. That's the only thing I can tell you. Keep the word strike in your heart. That's the only thing I can say about that.
I feel you. We're gonna talk more. Yeah. God bless.
Yes.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.